Fighting, trading card games, spinning tops, kendama, hide and seek, you name it, I can play it. What do you say? Pick one and we'll have a little contest? Just make sure you're ready to get thrashed. Ha ha!
Whoa.
Did you see him swing his claymore and then fix his hair?
He's
like
so
the
stylish.
coolest dude in Inazuma.
And yet he's like kind of this goofy kid at the same time. Like hearing his words, it's so interesting, that dynamic, but I'm into it.
Okay, so our first character to introduce is Arataki Ito. As you can probably tell from the horns on his head, this guy is definitely not human.
That's right. In fact, Ito's horns are a symbol of his Oni heritage. Just like the Adepti in Liyue, Oni are a special kind of being in Inazuma.
We have already encountered other special beings in our previous adventures across Inazuma, such as the Bake Danuki and Tengu. This time, we are adding Oni to the list. Aside from Ito's heritage, his unique charisma has also attracted all kinds of followers to him. Word on the streets is that Ito has established his own crew, called the Arataki Gang.
Okay, so he's a gang leader. That's an interesting twist.
Yeah, but he's not quite the kind you might be thinking of. There have been some interesting stories about Ito floating around town.
Yep, he's the big guy with the horns that would play cards with kids to win all of their snacks from them.
Absolute menace.
That sounds like a kid's worst nightmare.
And apparently, he also won a ramen eating contest against a certain fox-eared lady.
Right, which is another aspect of his character. He has a strong will to win no matter what he's doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. It probably explains why we see his rematch challenge to Kujo Sara on the Hanamizaka bulletin board. Oh, Sara's the one who defeated him and confiscated his vision under the Vision Hunt decree.
Well, enough of us just talking about him. Why don't we let Ito himself introduce his combat skills? Let's welcome our special correspondent, voice of Arataki Ito, Max Middleman.
Taking it to the max.
Hey, can you hear me? Check, check, 1, 2, 3. Arataki numero uno Ito here in the flesh. So, what are we doing? Talking about Ito's fighting style? Cool, let's get into it. Ito wields a claymore and manipulates the Geo element. He's strong, tough, reliable, a true Oni horn to toe. His normal attack performs up to 4 consecutive strikes, and when his second and fourth attacks hit opponents, Ito will gain stacks of superlative super strength. Pretty cool name, huh? Oh, another thing to note is that Ito's normal attack combo won't reset for a short time after using his elemental skill or performing a sprint, which means you can keep on swinging even after you move. When you hold to initiate a charged attack, you can use superlative strength stacks to perform Arataki Keisagiri slashes without spending any stamina. Each Arataki Keisagiri slash will consume 1 stack of superlative super strength. When the final stack is consumed, Ito will unleash an especially powerful attack. When no stacks of superlative super strength are available, Ito will perform a Saichi Monji slash. Oh, and most importantly, remember to keep your hairstyle as cool as possible, even when the wind keeps trying to mess it up. After unlocking the talent Arataki Ichiban, which, by the way, means Ito's the best, when Ito uses consecutive Arataki Keisagiri, his resistance to interruption greatly increases, and each slash causes the subsequent slash to have higher attack speed. So your slashes will keep getting faster and harder to stop. With another one of Ito's talents, Bloodline of the Crimson Oni, damage of Ito's Arataki Keisagiri is increased by a certain percentage of Ito's defense. When using his elemental skill, Ito hurls Ushi, the young Akaushi bull, at opponents, dealing Geo damage. When Ushi hits opponents, it'll grant Ito 1 stack of superlative super strength. Ushi also happens to be an auxiliary member of the Arataki gang. Aw, isn't it cute? Anyway, Ushi is considered a Geo construct, and it'll remain on the field to taunt surrounding opponents and draw their attacks. But Ushi won't stick around forever. It'll flee when its HP drops to 0 or its duration ends. Ushi also grants Ito 1 stack of superlative super strength when it takes damage and when it leaves. Next up, let's talk about Ito's Oni King form. After unleashing his elemental burst, Royal Descent, behold Ito the Evil, Ito lets his inner raging Oni King emerge, using his Oni King's Kanabo in battle. Yeah, you see that mace he's swinging? During this state, Ito's normal, charged, and plunging attacks will be converted to geo damage that cannot be overridden. The first and third combos of his normal attack will grant Arataki Ito himself 1 stack of superlative super strength when they hit opponents. While in Raging Oni King state, Ito's elemental and physical resistance drop, but his attack will be increased based on his defense, and his normal attack speed will also be increased. Ito also has an exploration talent. Woodchuck Chucked. When we have Ito in our party, we will have a chance to obtain an additional log of wood while using attacks to collect wood from a tree. So, collecting wood materials will be more efficient. Ito's pretty slick, huh? Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone interact with Ito in our future adventures because he's honestly a really fun character to voice. And those are all the inside deets about the one and only Arataki Ito. Zach, throwing it back to you.
And that's all from our special correspondent, Max Middleman. Thanks, Max.
Thanks, Max.
Bye, guys.
Guess that was okay, Max. Just kidding.
He looks like such a cool character, though. Like, he's got really interesting combos and stacking, and like, I don't know, that just seems really cool to play.
Totally. Next, we're moving on to our other new playable character in version 2.3. Let's see him in action.
If there's anything ever troubling you, don't keep it all muzzled up inside. You can always speak your mind with me. Although I can't guarantee that I'll always have an answer, I'll certainly offer you my best advice. Even when I can't muster much of a response, you can always count on me to be a good listener. Whatever it is, I'm all ears.
Aww.
Whoa.
Here we
He
go.
looks like a real good boy with a big, beautiful heart.
That he does. That he does.
I like him.
So, I know what everybody's wondering. Can we pet his ears?
Oh my goodness. Well, that might be a little awkward, but if anyone could pet Goro, it'd probably be the Traveler. Not you, Zach, but the
He
Traveler.
wants some pets.
Just to be clear.
I would like to scratch Goro behind the ears.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Come on, guys.
Anyways, with all that being said, although Goro looks really young, he's one of the most reliable characters you might ever meet.
Yeah, in fact, among the Watatsumi Island Resistance, he's known as Top Dog Goro.
Right, which is interesting because Goro is still younger than most of his fellow officers. He earned the nickname because he's close with his troops, and the other officers are always lining up asking him for advice. And to be completely honest, Goro often doesn't know the right advice to give either. But he can't let the soldiers down, so he just gives some general pointers and response based on his own gut feelings, which has worked pretty well, so everyone sees him as reliable.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you wear your heart on your sleeve.
But as soon as he returns to the battlefield, Goro is back to his serious general self, ready to lead the troops. Although, because Goro is still young and inexperienced, his temper can sometimes get the best of him. Anyway, let's take a look at how he fights. General Goro of the Watatsumi Island Resistance wields a bow and holds a Geovision. His elemental skill Inuzaka All-Round Defense deals AoE geo damage element. So, for example, when we have to Goro's elemental skill and elemental burst based on his defense, which is great because I love seeing characters using
But I have to admit that little sidekick of his is so